Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate all the birthday wishes.
Hey Josh, there's no sound. Oh, you can hear him? Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't, but everybody else can apparently. So go ahead.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining me, guys, and the birthday wishes. I'm super cognizant of age, because I'm racing against time. A song just came out recently from my favorite artist, and it was a line that I appreciated so much. He said, they say time's undefeated. I'm gonna be the first one who could beat it. And that, when I heard that, was like, like Shondell said, you see people clicking over 1 million faster and faster, and that is inspirational. And if I want to be the youngest $1 million earner in Primerica history, I see that the record's 29 years old, set by Mario Arizon. So that gives me 5 years. So that is like 4.5, 5 years. And no one's ever no one's ever done that. But that doesn't really scare me, because if you know your fundamentals, like we're about to go through right now, and you implement every single day, day in, day out, day in, day out. I have appointments today for recruiting, and we'll see what happens. But if you know your fundamentals and you collapse time and condense time frames, you can do anything you set your mind to. So that's the first thought I had in my mind when everyone started saying happy birthday to me. The second thought was, maybe, just maybe, I would get a beard like Ian's now that I'm 24 years old. Clean cut, maybe it'll happen for me, maybe not, but we'll see. So I'm going to share my screen here. This talk is for anybody on this call that is at 0 by 0 for the month, 0 in recruiting, and anybody that's under 10 recruits for the month, right? So the first thing that, in my opinion, when you're about to do anything, I'm reading a book now called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and the second habit, I believe, is actually, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. Another way to put it is that Jim Rohn says is, let me tell you when you should start the day or the project. He says, as soon as it's finished. Like engineers don't start building a building until the architect is finished creating it on paper or in a model. So you got to begin with the end in mind, and that's the that's the why to. That's why you're doing something. And I want to inspire those on the call today. If you are not a double-digit recruiter, and to make a decision to become one consistently for the next 12 months. If you do, your business, your quality of life will transform 10 times better than that of which it is today. The first reason that you should double-digit recruit is quality of life. If you have 50 to 100 licensed agents as a regional vice president, you will cash flow. And I saw this Omar Oropesa, a $1.6 million earner over in Miami, Florida, tweeted like a day or two that based on what he saw over the last 30 years, if you're a regional vice president with 100 life insurance licenses in your base shop, and 25% of them are investments licensed, you are roughly in the range of 300,000 a year. And it's crazy because those numbers literally fit Samir perfectly. And go figure, he's over his third diamond. What would your life look like if you were able to come and go as you please? And you never had to report to a job, a boss, worry about money. Where's your next paycheck coming from to pay your next bill? Double-digit recruiting leads to the result that you want, which is a quality of life. That's why we're building a business in general. Most people, it's not, you have people that, are literally born to do certain things, like perhaps Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were absolute geniuses when it comes to the technology field. They built Apple. And maybe they wanted to just create something in the technology space because that's how their brains operated. Most people, though, they decide to build a business for the result that it brings, quality of life. You can't have the same quality of life trading your time for money as you can when you build a distribution force and you're trading value for money. Double-digit recruiting gets you away from being a working stiff. And what's a working stiff? What does that look like? What does that sound like? I can't hang out with you, Josh, because I have to go to work. If I hang out with you, it can only be for 30 minutes on my lunch break. It's got to be on the weekends, Josh, because that's when I don't work. Hey, would you like to come with me to Puerto Rico? I'm taking my wife, Lelix, and the kids. I'm speaking futuristically. You could bring your kids too. I'll even pay for it. No, I'm sorry. I can't come because, I have bills to pay and mouths to feed, and I gotta show up to work to pay those bills. That's a working stiff. Working stiffs work until they die. There's no other way. Unless they're investing money in a properly allocated mutual fund, which is a slow roasted growth in net worth and quality of life, you will work till you die. When you trade time for money, there's not enough hours in the day to get the result that you want, which is quality of life, when you're trading your time for money, because you can only be in one time on shift at a time. Big guy is a regional president. One of the notifications of becoming a region called replacement. You have to give a poor team to your vice president, and you get to take the rest of the portion of your team with you as you continue to go build your business. But once you're there, there's unlimited opportunity after that. You continue to double-digit recruit, falling back on your fundamentals, and you build a huge base shop like Shaq was talking about. Eric Davis is coming to teach us 50 to 100,000 of life insurance production every month, $2 to $3 million of investment volume per month, all in overrides. Overrides is a beautiful word. That's why we came here. Sometimes we get so caught up in working in our business that we forget the reason why we came here, working on our business, is overrides. When you first saw the Primerica opportunity, the first thing that was shown to you to entice you to take advantage was overrides. 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month in overrides. We have people, I mean, in close proximity that have made $30,000, $40,000 in a month recently. But looking, taking a closer look at that 30, 40,000, the question is, was it in override income, or was it something that you did actively? The great news about the type of income you can earn here at Primerica is that the income is not only unlimited, it's explosive, guys. By building a distribution force, a sales force, your income has no ceiling, no cap on what it could be. When you're working on the job, you are ridiculously capped by a wage set by someone that's not you, which means you're severely undervalued, and you have no control on the growth of that income. It's actually losing its value because of inflation. Here in Primerica, you can go from $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month. In 1 month, you can do that. You can, and that's where the explosivity comes from, because, I just don't know too many other places where you can go from making $50,000 a year to $250,000 a year, which I see in both Shondell and Mai's future, because of double-digit recruiting. $100,000 a year in overrides has got to be the focal point for us, guys. Do you know how many years you would have to work to earn a $8,000 a month pension in the military? Guys, 25 to 30 years easily you would have to put in working for the military. So if you're willing to put 25 to 30 years, and I appreciate all that is done through the military, okay? If you want to fight for our country, that is, obviously that's one of the most admirable things anyone can do. But money is a huge, it's a very important category of our life. And so, if someone's in the military doing that, the best thing that you can offer someone like that is a second stream of income that's explosive, that's unlimited, while they fight the good fight for our country, because they could get to the pension that's coming to them 20, 25 years sooner. Guys, $100,000 a year in override income is the equivalent of having $250,000 to $500,000 properties, real estate properties, 20 of them. Do you guys understand? If you don't, and look, if you don't have literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars to put in down payments to acquire these properties, obtain tenants, constantly have to not readjust but fix anything that breaks in those properties, while paying off any debt you may have taken on by taking any loans from the bank, trying to leverage them. If you don't have that type of credit or cash, how many years would it take to build a $1 million real estate portfolio? Like decades, literally. In Primerica, you can come here and build a passive $8,000 a month $100,000 a year income in complete overrides in 2 to 3 years if you're focused. I really believe that. Another reason to double digit recruit is the freedom of time. I believe there's going to be a point in my life where my parents are going to need me because perhaps they're not healthy enough to function by themselves. It might not even be my parents. It might be my sister. It might not be my sister. It might be my sister's kids, God forbid. If anything should happen to any person that I care for, or if I had a job, would I be able to leave my job for 7 days straight and not have to go back without being in fear that I would get fired, laid off, hours cut, pay cut? Can I do that if I have a job? Answer, no. You can't do that because it's nothing, like they say, it's nothing personal. It's just business, and business has to go on. You got to be able to have the freedom of time, freedom of travel, guys. You know, Shondell talked about going on a 6-day vacation. Okay, if you're a business owner, we like to call it just traveling, right? But if you're on a 6-day vacation, that's $1,000 and you enjoy it. One, can you stay another 6 days if you so choose? Because one, you can afford it. And two, you have no fear of losing your source of income when you get back to the United States. If the answer is no to either one of those or both, you don't have freedom. And it's not just for you, it's for your kids, it's for your family. Another reason to double digit recruit, guys, is to find, and this is the final major, I think the most important one that gets all of the other ones, is to find your next regional vice president. I believe the way Shondell spoke to us, guys, just now, by the way, like verbatim was Bruce. I hope you guys were taking rigorous notes because, I mean, like listening to her, and I have like an echoic memory, guys. I can hear something once and repeat it back very easily. So I recall everything that Bruce said to us on Tuesday, and Shondell literally verbatim, said it to us just now. I mean, it was on the money. But Bruce always talks to us and says future RVPs, future $100,000 ring wearing RVPs, right? That's how I'm speaking to you guys. To find your next RVP is the point of double digit recruiting. There's no other point. You only go to regional vice president if you're going to build regional vice presidents. There's no other reason. So you double digit recruit to find your next regional vice president with a $20,000 base shop minimum, and obviously generating new talent within your base shop with a $30,000 base shop. Guys, on a 55% override on your base and a 40% override on your first generation regional vice president, okay, that is 16,500 in base shop overrides and $8,000 in overrides from your first generation regional vice president. Let's say that you don't have super massive ambitious goals. Okay, you don't need to make $1 million a year. I need to make $1 million a year. But if you don't need to make $1 million a year, at least give yourself quality of life, guys. Like this is a $20,000 plus a month income. And that type of income will gain every other point that I mentioned on this slide, guys. Those are a couple reasons on why you should double digit recruit. Okay, now that we are beginning with the end in mind, we have to create a plan of action to double digit from scratch. So how to double digit from scratch? If you're at 0 recruits for the month, okay, like I mean, I don't think I've ever done that, to be honest. But actually, you know what? Yes, I have. I maybe 2 or 3 times so far in my career, I ended up with 0 recruits. And how did I get out of it fast, quickly? Okay. First things first, you have to want $100,000 a year override income like you want your next breath. Okay. Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, you have to want it as like a white heat desire. That's how bad you have to want $100,000 a year in override income. That's step one. It has to be, you have to want it. If you don't have the desire, every single accomplishment started with desire, you will not achieve it. You won't do it. You won't take time on your birthday, on 4th of July, on Christmas. You won't put the effort and time it takes to achieve it in if you don't have that type of desire. So that's step one. You have to dig down deep and say, oh, this right here is why I need to double digit recruit. And then I will do it. And then you have the strategy. The first things first, start in your warm market. Market to your warm market. And remember, some will, some won't. So what? Okay, invites is where it starts. Just invite a whole bunch of people as if it were a party. Send out invitations. Send out the 20-minute webinar that was created, right? A lot of people may have a persona of so however they categorize and see Primerica, an image in their mind of Primerica. That's false, completely wrong. But this webinar does the best job I've ever seen on describing everything there is, in the beginning of Primerica. So start in your warm market. But whether it's warm market or cold market, it doesn't even matter. The focal point is in the next 14 days. You got to want it like you want your next breath. Go get 5 directs in the next 14 days. 5 recruits that you personally invited to the webinar, did a follow-up with, and you recruited them. You pulled the bootstraps up on your boots and went to work. That you did that in the next 14 days, like a maniac. Okay, and then put a minimum of 2 recruits under those directs. Okay, tap root. That's 10 right there, guys. That's 10 right there. Some of the initial 5 potentially, like maybe 2 or 3 out of the 5 might not even let you recruit under them. That's okay. Some will, some won't. So what? You work with the ones that will let you build a team under them, and you keep going until there's nothing left, until the well has dried up, right? So that, in my opinion, is the simplest way to double-digit recruit from scratch. Go get 5 direct recruits. Invite, prospect, meet people. Okay, in 14 days, I believe if you get or speak to, in your own warm market too, this is included, 70 new people a week. That's 10 people a day. People that you know, people that you don't know. 70 people in a week, 10 people a day. I believe and you do that for 2 weeks in a row, you can get 5 directs. And the result is a new market of clients. Okay, that's where you're going to make your money. That's where you're going to stay in business while you build a business. Okay, that's going to lead to a new team that's built. That team may be the team to take you to regional vice president, right? And then most importantly, an excited, trained district leader and future regional vice president that you can take with you after you become a regional vice president, that you'll override for years, decades, the rest of your life, guys. People on average change jobs every 5 years, 7 times in their lifetime. 7 times they change jobs like they change clothes. Here you can find an ambitious, goal-oriented person like Shaq found Samir, like Shondell found me, right? And override them for decades, for the rest of your life. Your kids could override that ambitious person for the rest of their lives. That's the result of double-digit recruiting, guys. And in conclusion, you know, sometimes there needs to be a visual put to, you know, an idea of, if you will. Okay, so this is actually my old phone, I believe, or something like that. Excuse the poor quality of this video, but this is a $2 million+ earner with over a $70 million net worth plus, okay, in Primerica. His name is Rick Susie. And he has a house right across the street from Floyd Mayweather in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, that's Primerica money right there. Okay, and I saw this. I had never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, this, to me, I grew up and there was a place called Waterworks or Splashdown right next to my, where I lived in Woodbridge, Virginia. Okay, that's a water park. This guy's house reminded me of that water park, his home where he lives, right? So take a look at this. And this is what can happen if you just make a decision to double-digit recruit today. We've got a theater room. It's literally like you're at AMC theaters. The inside, look how many seats there are. That's his house. That looks like a resort. The whole entire property is his. Right? So it's a it's a little blurry. I know there was like more of the video, but I mean, that's all I had to see, man. I mean, like, to wake up and come out of your house and see that every single day. I mean, I can't, like, that's the type of stuff. That's why I get up and fight so hard in the morning. I want my kids to come out and see that. I want my kids, you know, where, Shondell, recently somebody, I don't even remember who it was, but, oh, no, it was Grant Cardone. So this guy did a seminar recently, and he said his daughters were having issues with math. And it was something crazy, like, I don't know, man. It was like addition, and they were having issues. It's like, Daddy, I don't know how to, like, I'm having troubles with this. He was like, no, you know how to do math. And it was like, you know, like you're not supposed to do it this particular way. Like, you can't do it this way in math. And the daughter was like, no, I know how to do math. What I don't understand is they're telling me I can't do something. Like, the daughter's like 7 years old saying that. Like, she doesn't understand that. Right. And then Bruce told a story once of, his daughter's on a plane. Right. And they're like, they would take a lot of private planes. And then once they went on a public plane, and they're like, are these all our friends? Because the people that usually work the private plane, right, they're always there. They're on staff for the father, and that they're just friends to the son and the daughter. They get on a public plane for the first time, and they just don't understand. Like, that is what I want for my kids and my family. But you know what? It will never, ever happen if 100% of your income is coming from one person, you. Therefore, you have to have 1% of your income from 100 people. If you make a decision to double-digit recruit today, guys, for the next 12 months, October 2020 to October 2021, you can be a regional vice president in 12 months from today. You're one decision away, and 12 months from a $20,000 a month income. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. Birthday boy. Yo, he killed it, guys. He killed it. If you're not inspired to go on a double-digit recruit, I don't know what else will be better than that. So we will have this recorded, guys. I don't know if you guys have any questions about anything we talked about. You can type it in the chat or unmute yourself. I'll give you guys like a couple minutes really quick here because we have some time. But I thought that was awesome. More happy birthday wishes. No questions? No brand new recruiters have any questions? I'm trying to look at who's on here. All right. Oh, we got Lori on here. I know you're about to be a brand new recruiter. Ooh, someone unmuted. Anybody?
I did.
Oh, dang. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I had somebody recently ask a question. He's at work right now, but I felt like it was a quite good question for everyone else. They said, I understand recruiting and I'm willing to recruit, but how do you get somebody else to recruit, like to want to recruit, or to just recruit in general, right? And I thought that was a good question, right? Because you're not gonna get to 100 licensed agents with the speed you want to with just you double-digit recruiting, right? So I believe the answer to that question is, one, you can't make anyone do anything, first of all, but what you can do is paint an image for them, kind of like what I just did, in how their life could be completely different if they decided to build a team. Like, you can reach out to your uplines, right? The largest income month I have is $12,000 in a month, and to me that's not as impressive as $30,000-$40,000 in a month. So I say, hey, Samir, can you send me an image of 1 month's income from Daily Blast? And he sends it to me. And I swear to you, when I'm out and about on the prospecting or on Facebook or LinkedIn, they say, how much can I make? Or, like, how do you get paid? Oh, well, look at this. Yeah, this is an example. And yeah, this is one of our VPs, and they made this not showing up. He didn't even show up and made this. Right. And that's an example. Just show examples of what will happen if you decide to recruit.
Thought that was good, guys. So, awesome. Yeah, Lori, let's go. Go out and double digit recruit, guys. Make the decision, like Josh said, make the decision to do it. It's fun. You have a team, you're competitive, you compete, you have inner team competition, outer team competition. It's just awesome to do things with a team, guys. So we have, I think, 9 days left of the month. So definitely hit it hard today. I know for Shaq's Space Shop, he's having a call blitz virtual what is it, virtual office on Saturday. So guys, get on that, make calls. If you don't have that with your team, get on, make calls, and make some things happen, guys. Thank you so much for getting on, and have a great week.